We are currently at 1,200 meters above sea level, and as you can see, the terrain is pretty diverse, let's say. So in the past, the farmers from the valley, from the villages around Drežnica, they had cows at their home to practically survive the winters, which means that each family had 1 or 2 cows from which they were milking them and had the milk and the cheese for drinking at home, or they were raising calves for meat. And then during the season, when in the start of spring, all the flatlands, flat in they planted wheat and barley and corn wherever it was possible to cultivate the land, where there is more soil and less rocks. And because they had no place to feed the cows during the summer, they brought them higher up to the mountains, where the cultivation was a bit harder. So the sheep and goats they brought to the top of these mountains along the whole ridge, and the cows stayed here in these little valleys. There are mountain pastures like this one around the whole valley here, throughout the Soča Valley. There is, I think, 15 pastures left that are still processing the milk like we do. In the past, there were more than 40 of these places around here, which means that everybody from the valley brought all the animals to the mountains so they could cultivate the fields, and they had also to have time to do all the work at home. And the cheese making started in the end of 17th, start of 18th century, when there was a guy from Switzerland came to these places, and he started a cheese making school here. So our cheese is based on technology for Swiss cheese with the big round eyes, holes. But through time the technology changed a little bit, so now we have our own cheese Tolminz. It has a geographical signature, which means that it can only be processed and made here, and it has to require some sort of specification for the size, amount of fat, amount of protein in the cheese. So we are kind of following the tradition here. We are making a hard type of cheese, which is Tolminz, like I said. Then we make ricotta cheese, which is a softer type of cheese made from different kind of protein that we use for the hard cheese that you saw here. And in the end of the season, towards July or August, when the milk gets more rich in fat, we also skim the milk and make butter. So at the end of season, we have 3 products. And then sometimes when we have time or we want to play a bit, we make cheese with paprika or chili or pepper. We used some Mediterranean herbs once. So a bit of diverseness. Sometimes we also make grilled cheese, which is made on the similar technology to this one, but the end is different. So when you put it into a pan, it doesn't melt; it stays in shape.
Take out the fat, or how does that?
It coagulates the protein around it, because the highest temperature that this cheese reaches is 45 degrees Celsius, which means that we're making cheese out of raw milk. Mm-hmm. And for that type of cheese, for grilled cheese, we submerge it into hot whey, which is left over from the cheese. It's more than 90 degrees Celsius, and it kind of hardens around the edge, which makes it then suitable for.
So is that like the Greek saganaki?
Yeah, similar, very similar.
Like that.
So how much cheese do you produce a year?
Per year. Last year we made around 12 tons.
12 tons?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right now we're milking around 1,000 liters of milk per day, and last season we milked 120,000 liters. And the percentage that we get from milk to cheese is 10%, so 120,000 liters of milk comes to 12 tons of cheese.
What do you do with all the whey? You make ricotta with some of the whey, right?
I will explain the procedure more precisely inside.
And in the winter?
In winter, everybody, I forgot to mention that. How does this place even work? There are 18 owners of this place, so there are 18 equal parts. It's like a form of like a community cooperative business. So we have a president, which is rotating every 2 years. He's in charge of all the papyrology. So the president is in charge of papers and stuff. I'm in charge of technical issues here, so that everything runs smooth as it should. And the owners, each owner that brings his cows up to the pasture, he needs to stay here for 4 days for each cow. So if I bring up 3 cows, I need to stay here for 12 days and milk all the cows. So I milk your cows, you milk my cows. And it's been like this for 100 years or more, and it's still working. So we are keeping this system. The little cottages that you see around here used to be barns for the owner's cows and for the owners themselves. So the big barn was built in 1991. Before that, each owner had his own hut, and all the owners had to be here to milk their own cows, and they brought all the milk here, and the cheesemaker made cheese and then gave them as much milk as they brought. Then we made the big barn, and the little huts were getting abandoned. Some of them are renovated to like weekend houses. Some of them store wood inside them for the furnace inside, because we are using wood furnace for heating the cleaning water and milk. I can show you the barn now.
Okay.
And we'll talk about a bit more there.
Значи, тут как се поставя и